This is Marlene from the Buying Space channel. Today I'm doing something a little different. I am reading in the New Testament in the New Living Translation of the Bible. That's not unusual. Lately I have been doing a series on the four Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Today actually I'm reading from the next book in the New Testament, Acts. And the rest of the New Testament, predominantly, but not completely, is about Paul and his journey. And the book of Acts outlines where Paul went, who he talked to, what happened in the cities he went to. And then the next books are letters he wrote back to them, some of them in prison, some of them not. But he would write letters back to the former cities he visited. So I am in a Bible study group called Flipping Hope, and right now they're in 2 Corinthians. And in order to understand why Paul wrote some of the things that he did in Corinthians, it's important to read what was said in the book of Acts concerning that journey and what happened while he was there, and why he says some of the things that he does in the letters. So Acts 18, verse 1. Then Paul left Athens and went to Corinth, and there he became acquainted with a Jew named Aquila, born in Pontus, who had recently arrived from Italy with his wife Priscilla. They had left Italy when Claudius Caesar deported all the Jews from Rome. Paul lived and worked with them, for they were tent makers, just as he was. Each Sabbath found Paul at the synagogue, trying to convince the Jews and Greeks alike. And after Silas and Timothy came down from Macedonia, Paul spent all his time preaching the word. He testified to the Jews that Jesus was the Messiah. But when they opposed and insulted him, Paul shook the dust from his clothes and said, "Your blood is upon your own hands. I am innocent. From now on, I will go preach to the Gentiles." Then he left and went home to the home of Judas, a Gentile who worshiped God and lived next door to the synagogue. Crispus, the leader of the synagogue, and everyone in his household believed in the Lord. Many others in Corinth also heard Paul, became believers, and were baptized. One night the Lord spoke to Paul in a vision and told him, "Don't be afraid. Speak out. Don't be silent, for I am with you, and no one will attack and harm you, for many people in this city belong to me." So Paul stayed there for the next year and a half, teaching the word of God. But when Gallio became governor of Aquila, some Jews rose up together against Paul and brought him before the governor for judgment. They accused Paul of persuading people to worship God in ways that were contrary to our law. But just as Paul started to make his defense, Gallio turned to Paul's accusers and said, "Listen, you Jews, if you were a case involving some wrongdoing or serious crime, I would have a reason to accept your case. But since it is merely a question of words and names and your Jewish law, take care of it yourselves. I refuse to judge such matters." And he threw them out of the courtroom. The crowd then grabbed Synesius, the leader of the synagogue, and beat him right there in the courtroom. But Gallio paid no attention. Paul stayed in Corinth for some time after that, and he said goodbye to the brothers and sisters and went to nearby Cinere and shaved his head according to Jewish custom, marking the end of a vow. Then he set sail for Syria, taking Priscilla and Aquila with him.